Hello, I'm Paul, and this is Paul Plays with Fire. Welcome. Come on in, grab a stool. Today on the show, we're going to be smoking a pork belly, and we're going to be finishing it with a little maple syrup and to sweeten it up at the end. I made this for a party recently, and it was such a hit that I wanted to do it for the show. What is pork belly? Much like it sounds, it's a boneless cut of meat that comes from the belly of the pig. Bacon is usually made from cured, smoked, and sliced pork belly. It has a nice cross section of meat, and that fat renders out to be a little bit of deliciousness. The smoke, the fat, and the sweet combine together in a magical way. Our butcher sells skinless half bellies that are about 4 or 5 pounds, just about right for what we're doing today. We're going to be cutting the belly into 1.5 inch cubes, rub them with a nice neutral rub, smoke them for about 2 hours at 250 degrees, wrap them in foil and put some butter on them and cook them for another hour, and then we'll sauce them, let them sit in that sauce in the heat for about 20 minutes or so to let that sauce set up. Just that simple. So let's get started by cubing our belly. Okay, this is just as simple as taking this belly, cutting it into about 1.5 inch strips. I'm going to use a fillet knife for that, my nice sharp fillet knife. Cutting about 1.5 inch strips, and it'll take a couple passes through. Don't try to get it all at once. There, just like that. And it'll continue like that for the rest of the pork belly. Then we're going to take one of those strips that we just cut and cut it about 1.5 inches down. There you go, just that simple. We'll throw them in a bag. As soon as we get the rest of them cut up, we'll go ahead to put some rub on them. Well, we've got all those pieces cut up into cubes. We got just the one left, and I wanted to show you how nice that looked. Just what a nice cross section there is on that. It's a good looking piece of meat. So we're gonna cut that back up into cubes. Just like we did with the rest of them. And throw it in the bag. Get rid of the gloves. We'll start rubbing. We're going to shake some of that rub in there. Shake everything around. Be pretty generous with it, because a lot of it, when it stops taking rub, you'll know it'll start to build up on the bottom of the bag. And we'll just shake that around a little bit, and we'll work that around until everything is covered. We'll be back when that's done. We have our pork belly all rubbed. I'll show you what a piece looks like when I say completely covered. There you go. And that's covered on all sides with the rub. As you can see in the bag, there's not really any extra rub in there. As a matter of fact, some pieces are a little even lightly coated. So I put about a half a bottle of this rub in there. And then actually this is a chicken rub, but we're using it today because it's what I had, and it's a very neutral rub too. We don't like it so spicy. We don't like it so hot you can't eat it. It doesn't need any zip anymore. We're getting too old for zip, but it's a very delicious rub, and I wouldn't want to do it without it. So anyway, we'll let these sit. Normally I would say put them in the fridge, but it's about 37 degrees out here, so I'm gonna just let them sit here on the counter while we get the smoker going. They need to sit for at least 20 minutes or an hour, or you could even go overnight. But I'm just going to get the smoker going, and by the time the smoker gets up to temperature, it'll be time to put these on a rack. And what we're going to do is we've got an old barbecue rack that I rescued. Here's another Paul Plays with Fire tip. When you get rid of a barbecue, and we all been through that, strip off the extra grates that you may have. Strip off the extra thermometer it may have. You never know when you're going to need it. So here we are. This is where we're using something off of Weber that's long ago rusted out, but the grate is just fine. And what we'll do is we'll take the pork belly pieces, arrange them on the grate, and that way when it's time to put them on the smoker, we don't have to leave the smoker open the whole time we put the 74 pieces of pork belly on there. We can put them on there, open the lid, put them in there quick. Same for getting them out. And when we want to test them, we'll just pull the whole rack out, or maybe we'll just pull one out. But it's so much quicker getting them in and out that way. Just another tip from Paul Plays with Fire. We're just about done arranging our pork belly pieces on our grate. And notice how we've kind of left plenty of space in between them. That allows each one of them to breathe and the smoke to circulate around them. You can crowd them as tight as you need to. You just don't want to get them too tight. But by the time they come off, they will have shrunk down and reduced in the fire such that there'll be plenty of space between them by the end. I would say they reduce in size by at least a third, maybe almost a half. So yeah, so if it seems like you're serving 3 pounds of meat to your company, just realize that it will shrink down to some in both size and in weight. As soon as the smoker comes up to temperature, we're going to take them out and put them on. Our smoker is up to temperature, so we're going to put our pork belly pieces on. And see how slick that works when it's a whole tray? You can just slide right in, get that smoker closed, and get them going. We'll be back in about 2 hours. We had a couple hours to kill, so the dog and I decided to take a walk in the woods while the pork belly's cooking. So the dog and I had a very nice little walk in the woods in the prairie. What a great way to kill 2 hours. And like I said, it's been about 2 hours, so let's take a look at that pork belly and see how we're doing. It's probably about time to take it off the smoker. Oh, there we go. Don't these look good? Whew. Oh yeah. Let's just take a couple more temperature probes. We want about 165, so coming out of the smoker this trip, and then the next trip we want about 190. So I turned the smoker up to 300 degrees. Now we'll just quickly, now that we're gloved up, we'll just quickly take these, put them in here, best we can, and I've already kind of laid out some butter so that they can, so they don't get dried out. I don't think there's any danger to that, but a little butter won't hurt. And they'll cook for another hour, and this is when they'll really tenderize. This is when they'll really start to fall apart. Let's just, maybe we should try one, just make sure it's okay. Oh. Well, that's good. Yum. That'll do. Kind of flatten those out best we can. And just like with anything barbecue, if you're gonna wrap it in foil, make sure you wrap it twice, because once ain't good enough. You gotta do it twice. There, we'll go throw that back on the smoker. Well, here we go. We got our pork belly. I'm like a kid at Christmas here, opening my presents. But before I do that, I got to talk about, after I've done about 3 batches of pork belly out there on the smoker, this is what happens to your grease bucket. It gets filled up, so it's time to change that out. See how much fat renders out of that when you work at it like that? Oh yeah, that looks really good. Oh yeah, very nice. Very, oh, whew. Yeah, I think this is gonna be good. So we're gonna take about, half a cup or so of your favorite barbecue sauce. The amounts are not too important. You may wanna make sure you don't get them too saucy though. And then we're gonna take maple syrup. Gonna take some maple syrup and probably add a couple tablespoons. Doesn't take too much, and it kind of thins up the barbecue sauce a little bit too, so it spreads a little better. Till everything's all incorporated. And then we'll just kind of go around and dollop it around. That looks like just about the right amount. Now I'll take that spoon and just kind of spread it around a little bit. There we go. We'll put that back on for about 20 minutes, open like this, just enough to set the sauce, and then it's time to eat. Well, look what we got here. Isn't that just a beautiful looking plate of pork belly? It's all candied up nice with the barbecue sauce and the maple syrup to finish it. It looks so good. And it smells so good too. Hey, before we dig in, I gotta ask you something. If you're gonna hang out this in my garage this much, maybe it's time you subscribe. I'm just saying, you know. I mean, it's good to we're friends and all that, but you gotta go ahead and subscribe. Thanks. So, we're gonna dig in. Let's pick a good one. Right on top. Oh. Boy, that is so good. Oh, that blows me away how good that is. The meat is falling apart tender, and then you have these pillowy pieces of rendered fat that are, you shouldn't eat them every day, but they sure are good once in a while. Well, this has been Paul Plays with Fire. Thanks for watching. What am I gonna do with all this? Nom nom nom. Like I said, subscribe. Watch the next video. See you next time.